live. Hey, everybody. Uh, yeah, I know. Doesn't it seem weird? I'm back in the chair. This is probably the first episode in. It's like the last day of the month. I think this is the only episode we've done in the chair. All month long, we've been over in the couch, I think. Hi, Sean. Hi, Connie. Almost forgot about the stream. Oh, it's nice to know how regarded I am to my dear little brother who used to worship me as a god. Forgot the show. At least my mother loves me, right? Right? Where are you, Mom? Oh, no, I guess I shouldn't have too much hard time on her. I mean, I'm amazed she hasn't made her phone just explode trying to even get on the dang streams. Anyway, though. Anyone else just tired? What are you doing? Choopy? I know you guys can't see it. Choopy was just touching the camera for a second there. I see you back there. Stay away. No, ha! I caught you this time, you little bastard. Go play with those goats over there.
He says he wants to be really nice to you this time because last time he hurt you in the neck.
Last time he drop kicked me in the fraggin' neck. And before that it was right in my nose. Oh.
Well, he feels really bad for those 2 times and wants to be nice.
But not for the genocide of goats. Nor does he probably feel bad for kicking the tar out of us in the frickin' Horrified game. We didn't stand a chance, dude. They kicked our butts. Hey, Mr. Bishop. Yeah, so like the title card said, today we're going to be talking about urban legends. I don't know about you guys. I don't know. Anyone else feel like the last few episodes have just been stressful? I mean, Jiminy Christmas. I don't know. I kind of wanted to just have a more relaxed episode for a change of pace, and I don't know. First thing that popped in my head was urban legends, so why the hell not, right? There is something fun about how live streams chats always start at the beginning of the show, just everyone saying hello to each other nonstop. It's just a stream of hellos. Anyway, though, yeah, last week we were playing Horrified and got the tar beat out of us. That was actually kind of embarrassing. But anyway, no, we're going to be talking about urban legends tonight, and usually we take a lot longer to get even set up at all. I'm kind of impressed. It was funny because the bishop just kept saying, you're forgetting something, and I was like, no, we're not. But anyway, either way. See, now I'm kind of curious. Where is Madre? Or my sister, for that matter, or anybody. It's just Sean, Mr. Bishop, and Connie. That's kind of odd. Hopefully everything's okay. But anyway. So what exactly is an urban legend? Well, it's a legend of modern times. It's kind of funny because I've always said that the skeletal structure of a culture is its mythology, its legends, for better or worse. Oh, hey, Cobalt Corner. Oh, okay, I see. We may have had bad timing, and my family is at the dinner table right now. I don't trust my mother with a cell phone, so I completely understand. If we're doing another episode of Native Americans, yeah, eventually we're going to get you on the damn show, Sean. We'll talk about your favorite topic, ancient alien theories and stuff like that. But anyway, as I was saying, myths and legends are very important because they're, like I said, they're the skeletal structure of a culture. It's what everything is attached to and built around. One of the reasons that I hate when people sit there and say, hey man, it's just a story or a movie. It's like, no, it has significance. Okay? And like I said, you can really see a culture and what they value in their stories. What do they make the villains act like? What do they make the heroes act like? What morals or cautions do they warn? Stuff like that. Yeah, Horrified is a fun game, but it can surprise you. It can go 0 to 60. Yeah, it can instantaneously knock you on your butt. Uh, we need to. I'd love to talk to those Ravenberger guys because they need to make more Horrified games. There needs to be more than just those two that they have. But anyway, I keep getting distracted with the game.
People like the game.
It's a good freaking game.
It is, yeah.
But anyway, you can see what was really important to people by the stories that they tell. Now, some people try to argue, there's no such thing as modern culture, or blah blah blah. I wouldn't say that personally. It's more because of the internet. We're more, what's the word I'm looking for? Homogenized. Everything is kind of mushed and blended together, whereas, say, in the 90s and backwards, things were far more separated. A horrified hot... Oh, geez, trying to play a game while you're suffering from hot sauces?
Oh, every time the fear goes up,
we have to take just a shot of hot sauce?
Just a dab. I mean, a shot will probably kill us.
It's funny, my mother literally called me and told me to stop doing hot sauces and eating spicy food on the shows. One, because she was concerned for my health, and two, she didn't like seeing her son suffer. And the kobold's just sitting here, hey, I got an idea. The sad thing is, that actually sounds like it'd be interesting. We need to get our mucho grande amigo, Jesus, in and have him play too.
He's never free, but yes, we should.
Well, we need to fix that. When is he free? It doesn't matter. Anyway, back to my point. Back to what I was talking about. The internet really kind of, in a weird way, brought everyone together, and so there's less of a regional effect to storytelling. There's more of this, I guess in a weird way, it's kind of the internet's culture now. Whereas before, you would hear specific kind of stories, depending what part of the world you're in. Hell, once upon a time, you could tell where a story came, like what state in the United States a story came from, because in different regions they told stories different ways. And they were about different things. And kind of the last generation of this, the last generation of the regional story really was what we know as urban legends. Which is funny because, urban refers to like in the city. And actually most of the stories that we all know and love are from rural areas. So I never sure why they call them urban legends. I guess because urban sounds modern, I get rural, maybe it's because rural is just such an ugly word to say. It doesn't flow. Rural sounds weird. It sounds like you have a starter. Rural. Or like you're trying to get a lawnmower to work. Rural. I don't like that word. I'm sorry. It's like it's trying to be the word feral. But feral works. But I don't know. I think maybe that's literally why they call them urban legends. Urban is a much easier word to say. Backwoods, yeah, that's another version of another term you could use. But anyway, urban legends were kind of the last truly unique forms of mythology before the internet culture came along. And it's not to say the internet culture is a bad thing. Actually, the internet's culture gave us possibly one of the best mythologies at all, which is what we're going to talk about first. Hold on a second, Sean. YouTube accent. I've not noticed. I mean, a lot of YouTubers mostly just scream really loud into the camera while they obnoxiously try to play a game half-heartedly. But I haven't noticed it. Oh God, do I have a YouTube accent? I still talk like myself, right? I remember in high school, actually after high school, when I moved to Louisiana, I stayed in contact with one of my teachers, Mr. Cosgrove. And he always teased me that I was going to get a southern accent. from being there. So I got the hell out of there as quickly as I could. No, I don't mind the southern accent. It's not terrible. But anyway, I've never heard of a YouTube accent. I've never noticed it either. But now I'm going to.
Everybody on TikTok sounds the same. Did you know? 10 seconds.
Well, it's because they use voice simulators and shit like that.
It's the same thing. If you're on YouTube all the time, you get an accent. If you're in the South all the time, you get an accent. If you're in Britain all the time, you get an accent.
I'm kind of not okay with this. I don't want an accent. I want to talk like me. Which is awkward because I can use so many different voices. So many different voices. He has 3. What the hell is he talking about? Anyway, though, what was I talking? Oh, right. The internet's culture isn't completely bad. I'm fighting the urge to make a joke about social media, but I'm gonna resist. I'm gonna be polite. Sean, it's true. The TikTok accent is real. Beware the accent. It's like throwing off the Emperor's groove. Oh, God. But anyway, a sincerely really interesting mythology, and I guess they're kind of... I wouldn't say they're urban legends per se, but they're an evolution from it. They're the next iteration. They're the internet's urban legend. And of course I'm talking about the SCPF, or just the SCP. I guarantee literally only Sean is going to recognize it and be like, oh, I know that. Everyone else is going to be like, huh? Big TikTok is trying to silence Sean. Oh no, the CCP. Anyway, but no, I swear, we're going to actually talk. We're actually going to talk about the stuff that I've written down. Even though at the same time, you know, I've kind of always just wanted to just hang out and talk to the chat. But anyway, in this occasion, SCP stands for, if I'm not mistaken, without looking, Secure, Contain, Protect, or the SCP Foundation. Yeah. And a lot of people try to compare SCP to creepypasta. Let me explain something real quick. And I'm only going to do this once, so stop asking about it. I do not have the blood pressure medication required to discuss the tangled mess of half-baked, failed concepts that is creepypasta. Okay? We're not going to talk about it. Okay? No. Unless you want an episode dedicated to me being royally ticked off and unpleasant, we're not doing creepypasta. Okay? Creepypasta is nothing close to being compared to SCP or urban legends or mythology in general. Alright? Shut up! That's right, yeah. Sean, Kobold's Corner, when he was the DM, he actually used SCP for boss fights. Yeah, Sean, real quick, that kind of going into conspiracy theory territory, but I agree. I detest shorts. I think Sean had a stroke while he was typing that in the chats. Anyway, though. Anyway, the one of the big things that actually divides SCP from creepypasta, aside from general quality, is actually SCP has an incredible scrutiny test. Anyone can submit something to be considered part of the SCP. Not everyone is accepted. In fact, I think... Did I write it down? Son of a... I didn't. Basically, if I'm remembering off the top of my head correctly, I think it's only like 1 in a couple hundred applicants actually get accepted into the... Ooh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Just dying here. See, I brought up creepypasta, and now my heart feels like it's going to freaking rupture. Anyway, only 1 in a couple hundred applicants actually are accepted into the SCP, which is staggering to think about because at the time that I was taking these notes, there are exactly 7,999 confirmed SCPs. And I feel bad because I read that and I was literally thinking earlier, geez, there's too many Pokemon. Jiminy Christmas, there's too many SCPs. It's to the point they don't even have them, some of them aren't even just by number. There's series. There are series of SCPs, which there are 8 currently in the canon. So there's a ton of them. In fact, there's a fun little game that I wanted to play with you guys in the chat. So what you do is, it's called Finding Your SCP.
How would you describe SCP to somebody who doesn't know?
Okay, so real quick, before we play the game, I'll do a better explanation. SCP, sorry, I got a bit ahead of myself here. SCP, which is Secure, Capture, Protect, or Contain. Secure, Contain, Protect, is a mythology. Some people call it a crowd-funded mythology. It is literally just a community of short stories about various kind of supernatural or paranormal or just plain weird creatures, objects, and locations, which the Foundation, as it's called, captures, contains, and basically experiments on. Now there is a deeper lore to it because they're all kind of interconnected. And it's interesting because you see things from all across the board. There's some that are more silly. There's some that are actually pretty terrifying. Technically speaking, I believe it's the Archangel Michael, the Archangel Michael and Satan, who I took the title Prince of Darkness from, are both SCPs actually. So it has no borders. If you do a good job writing the story, it can be accepted and become part of the mythos. And it's really, it's its own little thing. I mean, there's people who do entire channels there's entire channels dedicated just to talking about the SCPs and, things like that. It actually is pretty fraggin' big. And like I said, there's over 7,000, just under 8,000 official entries. The coffee machine. Yeah, those who know about the SCPs know about the coffee machine. Some of them are a little bit silly. Some of them are a bit more silly than others. There's isn't there it's a cake that you have to eat it. It has to be completely eaten every day or it'll multiply, or something like that. SCP-001. Isn't that Michael? Isn't 001 the Archangel Michael? Well, no, because I was going to play... So the SCP game is you take your birthday, the month and the day, you put that together, and you type in a search for SCP, that number, and that's your SCP. For example, if your birthday is like September 20th, you would put in 920. And I was going to say... What the hell? There's something thumping in the desert. Oh,
hello.
It's
me, Kobold, hidden on the side. No, I'm not coming in. Hi.
Too late.
You're already
in. Anyway.
So,
oh, please don't
to do a little bit of to do a little bit of clarification, SCP-001 is not one single SCP. It is actually a collection of different stories because the creators of the SCP Foundation could never actually figure out which one should be the actual SCP-001. So it is a collection of stories of things that have either majorly influenced the whole entire thing or have created crazy alternate realities that have either destroyed or drastically alter the way reality works in those universes. What's cool about the SCP Foundation, and I'm sorry for hijacking this really quick.
Funny thing is, originally that was the idea, was to have you freaking just on the damn show.
And there you are.
There you go. Hey, everybody. Kobold's Corner, by the way.
What's cool about the SCP Foundation is the SCP Foundation is not one single universe. It is actually a collection of multiverses in which literally anything can happen. So every single SCP story, no matter how weird or crazy or out there, is actually canon in the SCP universe. So,
Well, not in all of the universe.
no, not in all the universes, but it is every single story is canon. It
In
doesn't
its
matter
own
what
way.
it doesn't matter what it is. It is canon to the SCP Foundation.
Yeah. But anyway, so, well, I'm glad you're here, actually. Maybe you'll know some more. We were going to play the SCP game, where you put your birth date in, you know?
Containment breach?
No, not the game. The search game, you know, where you put in...
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
put in the month and the day, and then you search it, and that's your SCP.
Yeah.
Uh,
I haven't done that in a while.
what is your birthday, actually? Put it in your birthday.
Let's see.
But no, I was going to... Yeah. 126, The Invisible Friend.
Huh.
The Invisible Friend. Description is an invisible and intangible entity that can only be identified with sound. It is sentient and able to speak in multiple languages in a female voice and engages
Oh my
in
God,
conversations.
My SCP is an imaginary friend.
It literally is an It's literally an imaginary friend. Aw, you have a friend.
Now, it's what I absolutely love about the SCP Foundation and why I've got so interested in it is it's written less like urban legends and creepypastas and more written like scientific articles. It's really cool. If you ever get a chance to look it up, you should, because it's got a very, very unique style of writing that is actually very, very strictly followed.
That's what I was saying. It was, like how only one in every couple hundred. Oh, so there's a search feature on the actual SCP website.
Why don't you post a link?
Hold on, let me do that, because you gotta click the button. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. We have that for you, boys and girls. Hold on, here it comes. That. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, that should work. Anyway, so yeah, you can go ahead and do it. You play the SCP game yourself. Now, let's put in mine. Now, I think I remember what mine was. Mine is it's like a zombie virus infection thing. I think. Hold on. 1121. The skinning disease.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, isn't that like it's a zombie virus, isn't it?
If I remember correctly, something like that.
Isn't it the one where like they turn red? Their skin. It's a really effed up one. Like your skin.
Oh yeah.
The
like
skinning disease.
Like he had said too, if you ever decide to check out the website, it will jump from cute to humorous to absolutely
What the hell was that?
grotesque and terrifying all at the same time.
Well,
so
see-
just be aware of that.
Yeah, some of the SCPs are definitely not PG, if you get what I mean, and I think you do.
No, there are even some that are labeled NSFW, so be aware.
Yes, there are some pretty effed up ones.
No, I mean like NSFW.
Yeah, I know. That's what, yeah. Anyway, though,
Effed up in the biblical sense.
well, I was saying, I think Satan and the Archangel Michael are both considered SCPs.
Well, the Archangel Michael is actually one of the 001s.
Yeah.
He is a being of pure energy that is the guardian to the gates of Eden. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I was actually talking with somebody, so it was nice to see everybody. I just wanted to come out and do that little blurb real quick. So.
He just never stops getting weird, does he? Anyway, though,
Bye.
the skinning disease. Only 2 specimens have been collected of SCP-1121, both initial containment. These are kept in one biological research... But yeah, what I wanted to do was actually, play the game with you. So mine is the skinning disease. It's kind of like a zombie infection virus that makes the skin fall off and just leaves you with the exposed muscle tissue. Ow. But no. $6.25. That would be. Oh, you got. Dang it! Sean got the cool one. He got the glue spitting rats. No, not glue. Aesthetics. Anesthetics. Oh, so the numbing rats. See, that's a cool one. I want rats that can spit anesthetics. That sounds useful. There's a new Skaven unit that they need to make. Call me, GW. Call me. Anyway. But yeah, no. Oh, hi, Mom. Mom finally showed up. And Tara. Hi, Tara. So yeah, no. People in the chats, give me your birth dates. The month and the year. And we'll see what creatures and objects and locations you have. I can just... I bet you Mr. Bishop is like searching it now and just like, what the hell?
Alright, I'm February 1989.
No, the month and the day.
You said month and year.
Month and day. Give me the month and day, folks.
Oh.
So February, that'd be 2.
2.
And what day?
12.
2/12. You have the Improver. The Improver. I think I know of that one. It's a big machine. The Improver is considered a safe object. Description: it is a large medical device with 3 robotic arms. Arms have been extremely diverse array of attachments, but no storage area for power source has yet been found. Attachments slide in and out of the arms as needed, with over 500 different attachments. It is made of plastic, steel, and other common materials. Oh dear. Ugh. It's a Borg machine. It disassembles people and gives them mechanical improvements. And they call this thing safe?
It's Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Yeah, it's another example of it.
I'm sure nobody's seen that.
It's an interesting movie.
I liked it.
It should be warned that the processes are extremely invasive. So it doesn't you don't walk up to it and ask it for like a new liver or something. It just decides for you that you need a better liver or something. Ugh.
So, I don't want to be on camera, but I'm going to do some classification stuff really quick because, yes, it is classified as safe. The reason is because the SCP Foundation doesn't classify something as safe as in it can't kill you, but as it cannot easily escape from containment.
Okay.
There's 3 different main classifications. There's safe, Euclid, and Keter. And how it works is safe is if you put it in a box and it stays in the box, it is safe. If you put it in a box and it can escape the box, it's usually considered Euclid. If you put it in a box and it will escape the box by any means necessary, it's usually classified as Keter.
Keter.
Yeah, Keter.
Sprechen Sie English? Yeah. But for the record, we were originally planning to have him actually sit down and do the whole show with us. But I figured this would only be a short part of the show, so I figured, we'll leave him alone. We won't need to drag him out here. And yet, every 5 minutes, he just boomerangs back out. We really should just, restrain him, tie him to the chair or something. Anyway, though, But yeah, so you get the Improver. I still think Sean has the cool one with the rats that spit antiseptics.
What about December 10th?
December 10th. Okay, so that would be 12/10?
Yes.
Okay. Who do we got here?
54. That.
The Anonymous Radar Station.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Now, keep in mind, again, SCPs are not just creatures. They can be objects or locations. 12/10. Oh, there's multiple. Oh, it produces something. So, okay, so sometimes with SCPs, you'll have an SCP that's like 12/10, and then you'll have 12/10-1, 12/10-2, and so on. That refers to that the SCP has the power to create something and produce a thing. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, so on and so on. This thing, 12/10, is an uncharted island approximately 31 kilometers from the coast of blank Russia. Oh yeah, there's a running joke with SCP that stuff are redacted, like censored, so you don't know where they are, so you can't go and like check it out yourself. So it's a Russian It's an island off the coast of Russia. An unusual shape suggests it may have once been larger, but the eastern half of the island was sheared off by unknown means, leaving a sharp dilation which points to several buildings. 12/10-2 is a World War II era radar station located on the main hill of 12/10-1, consisting of a large radar array and control bunker containing a readout equipment. Okay, so it's a secret Russian radar station. Oh, it makes people sick that go near it. Which is, yeah, early radar technology was pretty nasty. Yeah, and that's the thing about this, is the reason that I actually respect SCP as opposed to Creepypasta is that a lot of work goes into this. This is not somebody dicking around with, you know, their Oogie Boogie Man character who has all the powers of Superman, by the way. No, this is a lot of care put into this. Like, I could honestly, there was a part of me, like I said, originally that wanted to just do talking about SCP by itself. And just, you know, having the kobold here to help me. Because, I mean, we could talk about this. We'll put a pin in that. We'll do that someday. Anyway, though. But, yeah, so 12/10-1/-2 is a radar station from Russia that makes people sick. Ugh, it makes some people... It even made 2 people just disappear and vanish. What is the chat doing? 12/8. 6/22. Okay, let's see. My sister gave a suggestion to 6/22. And we'll get to a few more, don't worry. But real quick. What was it Tara said? 6/22. So 6/22. Hold on. 6/22. I think Tara got a joke one. The desert in a can. Don't look at me like that. I'm not making this up. Desert in a can was considered safe, is no longer. It is now considered Islid. Oh, it has multiple parts. Description. Oh, this one's weird. Tara, you got a cool one. It's like all censored and stuff. I can barely read it. SCP-622 is a chemical composition of data expunged, also known as blank blank blank, developed by the Blank Chemical Company under the trademark Desert in a Can. 622 was originally marketed as a security aid for large businesses to incapacitate intruders in a similar vein to tear gas or pepper spray. According to Blank Chemical Company, 622 was doubled as a cleaning agent and insecticide. But due to its hazardous nature, Blank Chemical Company was shut down in 19 blank before any more product of this nature could be created. As of blank blank of blank, there are at least blank to blank documented cases of Desert in a Can remaining, most of which are still in possession and used by the following companies. Redacted, 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 redacted. Somebody was having fun with this one. This is just silly. According to the can's record warning label, 622 dissipates after 12 hours, but according to tests with 622-1, SCP-622 can last up to 24 hours to 36 hours. And then the rest of it is censored. You can't read it. Okay, here we go. We have it a bit less censored down here in the bottom. Okay, so it's some kind of a chemical that if you open this can and release it, it reduces it negates moisture in the air. It turns everything into a desert. Ugh. You know, personally, given the weather we've had recently, I wouldn't mind a can of that. It's been too damn humid around here, man. I don't like your storms. I like deserts. I like nice dry environments. Leave me alone. Yeah, it immediately turns the surrounding area into a desert by getting rid of all the moisture in the air. All right, 1218. Okay, so we're gonna just do a couple more. 1218 though. Connie has 1218. So let's see what 1218 is. Or 12. What is it? 18 or 8? 08. 1208. Lots of December stuff. What's up with that? Oh, jeez. Okay, I think Connie wins the game. The Waffle Master 3000. I'm not making this up, folks. It is safe. SCP-1208 is a Belgian waffle iron, identical in every outward respect to any unit produced by the Conair Corporation in 2003, except that its power cable is fitted with an NEMA 14-30 conductor rather than the ground NEMA 520 conductor provided with the models. When connected to a compatible 240V receptacle, it's a waffle iron that can turn any solid matter into a waffle. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know if I want a waffle made out of something other than waffle batter. That doesn't sound too appealing. That sounds kind of horrible, actually. No, Sean. It's whatever you put into it. You close that lid, and 3 minutes later, you open it, and that thing is now a waffle. I think I'm good with batter. Although I do like waffles. Waffles are better than pancakes, by the way. But hold on, we're going to do 2 more, because my mother has a couple here. 323. That's my mother's birthday, I think? 323. 323. Ooh, the Wendigo skull. Anyone else wonder where the Vagrant went? We haven't heard from him in a little while. That guy's kind of creepy. It's a skull that's alive. The Wendigo skull. SCP-323 is a skull of unidentified curved measures, 55 centimeters. 323 displays the ability to react to aerial, tactical, and visual stimuli. Testing has revealed 323 appears to have a field of view similar to that of other curvids, and has responded to visual stimuli from up to 50 meters away. Violent reactions towards speakers in French and English suggest that... Okay. And it's capable of moving. It is capable of limited locomotion, typical in the form of a small movement or vibrations. In most cases, will only locate in events. Ugh. Oh, but if you put it on like a mask, it turns you into a Wendigo. So 323 is a Wendigo. Okay. When capable of speaking, it'll talk in various northern Native American languages. Okay. So that's it. So, okay, Mom, yours is a Wendigo. Which, by the way, is not the same thing as the Vagrant. And then 730. Sean, it dislikes the French. I trust the skull. 370. Or 730, excuse me. 730 is... Deseparating plague. It's another virus. Uh, 730 is a engineered retrovirus developed in blank Italy by Dr. Blank. It infects and mutates developing mammal embryos, including human, causing abnormal fetal development. Infected individuals grow in terms of physical health. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, God, that's horrible. 730 is like a stillbirth virus. It's a virus that doesn't affect adults, but it infects fetuses and embryos and causes them to not grow beyond a brainstem. Ugh. See, like I was saying, some of these are not cute and funny at all. Some of these are pretty freaking horrible. But yeah, that's a horrible one. That's not fun at all. I'd rather the waffle or the rats or something. Jeez, what the hell? Sean is just going to town on these, Sean. But yeah, so like I said, we'll definitely come back. Mother 320 or 323 was a Wendigo skull that is able to move and talk, hates French people, and if you put it on, it turns you into a Wendigo. Yeah, SCP is home to a variety of cool and horrible things. Here's the thing. I will say I do not like creepypasta. I think a lot of it is lazy, amateurish attempts at writing, and extremely obnoxious, by the way. Creepypasta and SCP are miles apart. They are completely the opposites of each other. I love the SCPs. I think they're really cool. Still waiting for somebody to make a freaking cool game of them. I'm sorry, I don't like the Containment Breach games. They're really shoddy. I could never get them to freaking work. But anyway. But that's the SCP. Holy crikey.
Hey, you've been going 50 minutes.
I know I've been going 50 freaking minutes now. Oh! Jesus! Buddy, we were talking about you earlier. Yeah, no, yeah, the SCPs are cool. We're definitely gonna have to come back to them. I like my little virus thing. I like my skin melting virus. That's cool. I still think I like Sean's anesthetic rats personally. Why don't I get cool rat monster? Oh wait, Warhammer. Anyway, but yeah, we're going to move on from that because holy cow, I spent more time on that than I thought I was going to. And we're going to talk about some of the more classic urban legends from the... Excuse me. Ugh. I'm hoping you guys didn't hear that very much, but oh, that actually hurt. I had a bubble in my chest. Ow, that hurt. Anyway, though, but we're going to be talking about some of the older urban legends that people who aren't Sean will probably recognize and know. Yeah, Sean, I guarantee Sean's going to be like, what? But now, here's the interesting thing. I mentioned before that you can tell what did a culture or a group care about by what its myths and legends are about. You can see that a lot more with these urban legends than with SCP. SCP is kind of made more for purely being entertainment and less about like morals or passing on anything. Again, it's kind of an effect of how the internet has its own unique culture, as opposed to necessarily principles or values. It's about expression, creation, individualism, stuff like that, which are all fine, by the way. It's just different. Different doesn't mean better or worse, by the way. There's people who always they get on me about that. It's like, I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm saying that these stories are told for different reasons. And you have to understand that to be able to appreciate them. Anyway, though. And we're going to start right off the bat with probably a... Oh, hi, Dad. Finally, you show up. What's going on? ROTC. My nephew just came in and. Boy, you better get out of that uniform. Those things are fragging expensive, and if you get them dirty, everybody's gonna kick your butt. Boy, you get into your pajamas. It's way too damn late for you over there. What time is it over there in Texas right now? It's like freaking close to 9 o'clock, isn't it? Anyway, though. So, like I said, our first urban legend is one that a lot of people probably will know a variation of. I jokingly refer to this to how not to clean your pets. And I guarantee the bishop's just going to be snickering this whole time. So, stop me if you heard this one before. I heard this story from a friend of a friend. So, Mrs. Kravitz, right? Little old lady, she lived just up the road, I think. You remember her. She had the wiener dog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What a bitch. Anyway, so she had this little wiener dog. Now, what she would do, if this dog ever got really dirty or needed to be given a bath, rather than just towel it off or something, what she would do is she would, I'm not joking, let him sit in her oven. It would be turned to as low as it could be as far as heat goes. The lid would be open, and the dog would dry off by sitting in the oven. Hint, hint. Hint. I can get an oven out here in the desert. You should better behave yourselves. You know, it's been a while since she's actually acted up. I remember for a little while, she would just constantly fall on me. Uh-huh. Anyway, though. Well, Mrs. Kravitz's daughter felt that her mom really needed to catch up with the times, and so her daughter bought a microwave. Now, Mrs. Kravitz wasn't too keen on this. I mean, it's got all these buttons and dials, and she doesn't even know what a microwave is compared to is there a macrowave? I don't know. But her daughter insisted anything that your oven can do, this can do better, faster. And, well, Mrs. Kravitz said, okay, she'd give it a try at some point. Well, a couple days later, she was taking her little dog, little wiener dog. What was his name? Chili, I think?
Chili sounds about right.
Yeah, I think it was Chili. Anyway, so she's taking Chili, the wiener dog, out for a walk when they get caught out in a rainstorm. So she rushes home with her dog. She's soaking wet. He's soaking wet. She wants to go use a blow dryer on her hair, and she wants to dry off her dog. Well, supposedly, according to her daughter, anything that the oven can do, the microwave can do better and faster. So she puts the dog in the microwave, closes it, sets it for 2 minutes, and then goes to blow dry her hair. Well, she hears the microwave ding, so she goes and opens up the microwave and finds that Chili, the wiener dog, has exploded all over the insides of the microwave. No, it's a true story. Don't snicker. It's true. I heard it from a friend of a friend. You know, that one guy. What was his name? The dude you met at the truck stop.
Oh, Bigfoot expert Bob.
Yeah, Bigfoot expert, Joe Bob.
Yeah, Joe Bob Jericho.
Yeah, that weirdo.
He's Bigfoot expert.
Oh, yeah. But anyway. But no, that's the story. It's really, I'm kind of curious at the reactions. Jesus, I see you there. You know, I'm kind of proud of how, like, everybody in the chat is just taking this and running as a joke. That was not a nice story. There we go. I heard the same story when I was 10. Yeah, so this is a very old urban legend. As far as I found, when I was looking into it, it has a lot of variations. Some stories, it's told it's a cat. some stories it's I'm not joking. I found a few versions that was like a parakeet or a parrot. Maybe we should see what happens if you put a chupacabra in the microwave. One that was really sad, I found one version where it was a frog. To which I would say, why on earth would you try to dry off a frog? They need their moisture. Don't, for a record, full disclosure, and I'm saying this for legal reasons, do not, under any circumstances, put any live animal in a microwave. I hate the fact I have to say that out loud, but I feel like I kind of have to. Or mythological, cryptid, zoological creatures. Okay, no putting chupacabras in the microwave either. Damn! I caught you. I'm getting better at this, you little bastard. Here, you know what? You can hang out with your anti-famine. Anti-famine. Wouldn't gluttony be an anti-famine? Anyway.
Yeah.
What is the anti of famine? Plenty? Bounty, I guess?
Bounty, yeah.
Anyway. It is the quicker picker-upper. Anyway, though. There's lots of variations of the story. Different kinds of small pets. First and foremost, no, your pet would not literally explode in a microwave. It would die, but it wouldn't explode. It annoys the tar out of me because there was a TV show back in the early 2000s that tried to prove this myth with an egg. It's like, okay, dumbass, eggs are very different than an actual animal. Okay, yes, an egg could explode in the microwave. This is true. A dog is not an egg. Okay, it's not the same thing. People put meat in microwaves all the time so it doesn't explode, all right? Anyway, though, but back to my point. This story actually does kind of have a moral. And again, it's more prevalent, from what I've heard, it's more prevalent in the coasts, on the east and western coast. You don't hear this story a lot in, like, the heartland of North America. You don't hear it there. It's mostly it's coastal. Because remember, these stories used to be divided by land distance. You know, back in my day, back in the 90s and 80s and 70s and so on, back through time, it wasn't as easy as it is today to relay a story. Nowadays, you post it on the internet and literally every single last one of the 7+ billion people on the planet can see it. In the 90s, you might make the local newspaper and maybe a few people would read about you. So it was very much more consolidated. Stories stayed in areas. But anyway, the coasts have always been a bit more on the progressive side of things in North America. And so what this story really is it is a warning of the dangers of taking future technology for granted. The big fault in this story isn't on Mrs. Kravitz. It's not on the old lady. And it's almost always an old lady, by the way. You almost never hear a version of the story where it's an old man. It's almost always a lady. But the fault lies with her daughter, because she took the technology of a microwave for granted. A microwave is not equivalent to an oven. Ovens and microwaves cook completely different ways and will have different results. And anyone who belongs in a kitchen can tell you that you do not use them indiscriminately. There are certain things you microwave and there are certain things you put in the oven. Okay? So, again, the flaw wasn't with the old lady, it was with the daughter, because she did take the machinery for granted. She didn't consider, what she was doing with this new technology. Ugh. But that's the moral of the story, is to be careful of new technology. Don't simplify it. Explain very clearly and use it correctly, or else Fido is going to explode. I know that the chat is going to be full of people making Chinese food jokes, and you're all...
No, only Jesus.
Only Jesus.
Yeah, he's the only one who made that joke.
He said what we're all thinking. No! No! No wiener dog tacos!
Only wiener dog chili.
They can hear you.
Oh. Oops.
Wait, hold on, Mr. Bishop. When you were 10 years old, they still didn't have microwaves? Wait, hold on. When the microwave was mass produced in like the 70s, wasn't it? 1970. Dude, your dad's old.
He lies to my dad.
No, hold on. Okay, if he
He's not
was
that
10
old.
if he was 10 years old, so then he would have been No, wait, how old is the microwave? I didn't look that up.
Well, when was it invented? It was probably... Oh, microwave oven, that's right.
Yeah, the microwave oven. When was that actually invented? Or mass produced? I want to say that was the 70s, wasn't it? The bishop is tirelessly poring over records and data to try and find when did the microwave become a thing. It was the 1970s. Hell, chat, help me out here in the chat. Wasn't it like 70... I want to say it was the 70s. Of course, now everyone's shut up and being quiet. 1960...
They were invented, what I'm getting is they were invented in the 40s and the 1960s when they became like 50s and 60s. It's kind of like big TVs like we have back in the 90s, only the richest people had these, but now everybody has them.
See, Chet is saying 1967. Your dad says he didn't see one until 1973. Yeah, well, okay, well, I'm not too far off. But again, going back to my point, before I was completely derailed by Mr. Bishop and how old he is, and I say that only because he can't reach me from up here on my desert mountain.
He might one day.
He might one day. The point is that the story about the dog in the microwave is a cautionary tale about taking technology for granted. You know, technology is actually very powerful. And it's the funny thing is Sean was kind of talking about it in the chat earlier. People really do kind of not think about technology that they're using. Like, you know, the whole thing about shorts and you know, clip videos making people's attention span go down, and you know, people developing a whole accent just from watching or making videos on YouTube and things like that. Yeah, technology is no joke. You should very much take it seriously, and you should always remember what it's for and how to use it and how to use it correctly. Don't tell Lobolus though. I'm pretty sure he wants you to misuse technology. Don't be afraid of AI. There's nothing wrong. Oh, hi, Dakota. What the heck are you doing up still? Seriously, it's got to be like 9 o'clock there? They're like an hour ahead of us. Anyway, though. But yeah, that's the little old lady who puts her dog in the microwave, or cat, or bird, or frog.
1947 was the first commercially available microwave, but it was $5,000.
Oh!
$66,000 today. In 1961, Japan started manufacturing them, so yeah, mid to late 60s is when they would have started being common.
Okay.
I mean, for like high-end households in the 70s.
Thousands of dollars.
According to this, yeah.
$5,000. Okay, real quick, chat, before we get to our next urban legend, real quick. Would you ever pay $5,000 for an appliance? And what would that appliance need to be capable of doing to make you want to spend $5,000 on it? I'm kind of curious.
Depends on if they ran a business. I'm assuming commercially available, that means business. It's only a business would pay that much.
Only a business could pay that much. In the 60s? Jesus.
No, that was 1947.
47? That's even worse!
This is saying about, Japan started making microwave ovens in 61 and between 64 and 66.
Sean, money wasn't even real back then.
Yeah, okay. Sales volume of about 40,000 units in 1970 grew to about 1 million in 1975. So yeah,
It was in the 70s that people started to actually have them.
yeah, besides like the really, really rich, fancy people.
My mother is saying that she did pay that much for a washer and dryer.
$66,000? Or the equivalent of?
Tara's saying she would pay $5,000 for something that could wash, dry, fold, and put away the clothes. That sounds like a Tex Avery cartoon. Remember how he used to always do the cartoons of tomorrow? I liked that one. I loved that show. I love Tex Avery cartoons. But anyway, we're going to get on to the next one. This is probably my personal favorite. So, this is another story I heard from a friend of a friend, by the way. So not too long ago, actually, this woman, she bought a house, right? Now she was single at the time. She, didn't have she didn't even have a boyfriend, actually. Now that I think about it, she was actually completely alone. So she got a guard dog. She got a Doberman, specifically, for a companion, just to have in the home. Doberman. I like Dobies. Don't you cringe? Dobermans are wonderful little dogs. Big personalities. Dumb as rocks.
But they won't fit in a microwave.
I hope they heard you. I really do. Jesus. Anyway. So she she adopted a Doberman to look after her home. Well, a couple days later, she got home and her dog was acting really weird. He was seemed kind of lethargic. He looked like he was having trouble breathing. So she decided to take him to the vet, because she doesn't know. She's only had the dog for a couple of days. She has no idea what's wrong. And when the dog was at the veterinarian pulled out 3 human fingers from the dog's throat. Of course, she's disturbed and freaked out by this. So she calls the police and says, "Hey, my dog had 3 human fingers in its throat." So police go to her house and they decide to investigate, and they discover in the closet of her bedroom a man who has passed out from blood loss. Turns out that the dude tried to break into her house when he thought she wasn't home, and the Doberman bit his hand and took his fingers clean off. So he barricaded himself in a closet to keep the dog from attacking him. True story. No, I heard it from a friend of a friend. It's totally real, right? But yeah, that is the choking Doberman. And of course it varies. Some people say it was a Rottweiler, who I personally don't think have the brain capacity to guard a house. They're big, they're strong, they're scary, they are stupid as hell. Fun side note, Rottweilers were considered to be used as police dogs for a little while, except for the problem they kept getting distracted. Yeah, literally, I'm not joking. Scary as hell dog. Nothing going on between the ears, I tell you that much. But anyway, this is an old urban legend referred to as the choking Doberman, or the choking Pit Bull, or the choking Rottweiler, choking Shar-Pei, things like that. Basically, it's any dog that the media is perceiving as being some kind of aggressive, powerful animal that's dangerous, Because the truth of the matter is, no matter how loyal your dog is, it's actually kind of an odd thing for a dog to attack a human, especially with that kind of ferocity, to literally take off 3 of their fingers. Although I wonder, because in the story, the burglar barricades himself in the closet to hide from the dog, and then passes out from blood loss. Yeah, I guess you could bleed that much from having your finger. You would kind of know about that. Yeah, fingers bleed, don't they?
Yeah, see, I had one like half dangling. I didn't actually lose them.
Yeah.
I sewed them back together.
Yeah, but did it stop bleeding? Did it what's the term, coagulate?
It bled for like a day. When I at work when I chopped this off, it bled for like 3 days, but it was only.
Yeah. Okay.
These they like sewed back up and
pretty quickly.
I actually had medical attention for these ones.
Yeah. So okay, I guess you could. Yeah, I guess you could bleed to the point of passing out from losing a finger, 3 fingers. I wonder which finger he kept.
I mean, I wasn't ever worried about blood loss.
Well, yeah, but I'm
I
saying
mean,
like,
yeah, they bled a
could
lot.
you actually pass out from bleeding from losing a finger or 2 or 3? I guess. Because I mean, the human body's pretty good at keeping blood inside it. Blood coagulates, and but
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know.
See, this is another time we need the kobold. He's the
I mean,
medical
if
guy.
It's a whole hand, definitely you'll probably die pretty quick if you don't get it.
Everyone in the chat is just defending that the dog did nothing wrong.
The dog did nothing wrong. It's true. The dog was being good.
That's my boy. You see, I don't have that problem. I have 2 undead dogs. My dogs wouldn't go for the fingers. They'd eat the guy's brains. I guess you guys are technically zombies, huh? Yeah, you're good, girl. You're good. I love these dogs. Ooh, okay. Yeah, Tara brings up a good point. Could the shock have made him faint? I think I'm suddenly alone out here in the desert. Some people will just faint from the sight of blood. Ah, who was it? We used to work with somebody back at Walmart that yeah, some people pass out just at the sight of blood. I guess it would be pretty disturbing if it was your blood too. Yeah, everybody's just like defending the dog here. Good dog, good boy. The dog did nothing wrong. I agree with you, by the way, folks. I agree with you. But the sad truth is that most of our beloved pets probably wouldn't go to that extreme, of actually biting off a person's fingers. What this story is really meant to do is twofold, actually. One is it reaffirms the bond between human and dog. Some people refer to this story as woman's best friend. Because, of course, dogs are man's best friend, but in this case it was a woman. By the way, it's always a woman. Almost always a woman. No, actually, I've never seen a version where it's not a woman, now that I think about it. The burglar is usually described as a man. And that's kind of the secondary moral, is the dangers of living alone. You shouldn't live alone. You should have a roommate or be in a relationship or stay with your family. Don't live by yourself. It's dangerous. Which is a thing. Again, it's a matter of what did the people value at the time? Well, don't live by yourself. It's not safe, especially for a woman. Also, you should have a dog because they are the best friend of humanity. Anyway, oh, hey, there's the bishop. Welcome back from the desert. Didn't we know... Wasn't there somebody we used to work with that would, like, faint at sight of blood? What was his name? The one that tried to kill you with a turkey.
Oh, Wyckoff.
Wyckoff,
Yes.
yeah. Didn't he... Yeah, he got really... Because some of them are saying the blood loss might not make you pass out, but you could go into shock, and that could knock you out. Or some people just faint at the sight of blood. And it's like, yeah, I remember Wyckoff was like
Yeah, because when my fingers were broken, there was just blood everywhere, and I was covering them. And I walked into the store. This was at Walmart.
Yeah.
I walked into the store, and I specifically told him, because he was a door greeter, I'm like, Wyckoff, turn around, I'm hurt. And he's seen that I was just pouring blood all over the floor. And he's like, oh, crap, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Just because I knew he told me when he sees blood, he gets really...
Yeah, I remember.
And I knew I had to go by him. I'm like, Wyckoff, just turn around. I'm okay, but... And Jesus cleaned up that blood, I heard.
Yes, he did. But yeah, I remember some people, yeah, he could have passed out that way. Okay, so it's not impossible that the guy would pass out.
Like, when it's me, like, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, cool. But when it's anybody else, I'm just like, no, I can't look at it.
So yeah, I'm fine with blood. And then you have people like our dear friend over in Russia, Jeff, who, I realized that I probably shouldn't go into detail about Jeff and blood. You're happier not knowing, Croup. If you see this, by the way, Jeff, hi, please don't hurt me. He is probably the only person I sincerely feel like I need to say that to.
Didn't you say he wants us to hurt him?
I think he goes both ways. But I don't know. I've never pried into that, but
he does good art for the show.
Oh no, that's the funny thing. He makes no bones about it. He is a sadomasochistic person. And yes, he usually does artwork that goes in that vein. But you know what's funny is he is probably one of the most patient and nice people that I've worked with at all. Like, I'm dead serious. I wouldn't think the Russian sadomasochist is one of the nicest people I've ever worked with, but he really is. He's a great guy. Scares the crap out of me. You know, people joke about, how long are you going to hold the title Prince of Darkness? Who could you give it to? Honestly, yeah, Jeff, maybe. I mean, I'm not. I'm still the Prince of Darkness. But if there was anyone that was going to take it from me, yeah, I could see it. He definitely is Prince of Darkness worthy.
Nobody knows what you're talking about. You should
I know.
Tell them they do art. He does art for the show.
He did art. Jeff was a special. He did art for the Devil of Mayville Ranch. Is one piece that he did.
Want me to post?
Yeah, you can put up a link to that episode. But no, Jeff is our big, mean, scary Russian friend who's done art for the show before, and we plan for him to do more art in the future. But yeah, we always joke that he is a effed up dude. He is a weird SOB.
He did great art.
Oh, he does wonderful art. He's great for his topic. Jeff is officially a character going into the wiki. Anyway, though, but honestly, I feel like I kind of hope he's actually watching this, or he does see it, because I feel like people getting their fingers bitten off by a dog, and then the fingers choking the dog, and the dog exploding in the microwave. That just sounds like stuff he would do art of. He is a weird guy.
I've never actually looked at his art other than what he did for the show. But
you're probably happier that way.
Yeah, I don't like that much.
Yeah, no, he is an interesting individual. Let's put it that way. But anyway, after mentioning that, you want to hear a funny one? You want something to laugh about?
Tell him about the turkey. Yeah, that's a funny one.
Oh, yeah, no. So Wyckoff, our coworker, the guy we used to work with at Walmart, wasn't he a vegan?
He was a vegan, and somebody gave him a turkey for Christmas. And him being a vegan, he's not going to eat the turkey, so he's like, hey, you want this full turkey? So he gave me the turkey, but also him being a vegan, I guess, didn't properly take care of it, and I was the only one who ate that turkey, and I got the worst food poisoning of my life. The same day that we all played a D&D game, Jesus will remember this, and I just wanted to lay on the couch because I was in the bathroom.
I remember that.
I'm gonna be polite here, so everything was coming out both ends, and I'm just like, can I just lay on the couch? You guys play? I was like, no, we don't want to have a game without you. So I sat there and I suffered through that game, sick.
Sue's just, yes, Yes, I remember this. Yes. Yeah. So don't take any turkeys from vegans.
I also got food poisoning last night, very mildly, compared to that.
See, I didn't even know about that. What? Wait, what did you eat yesterday that was so bad?
My coworker gave me some barbecue that after I ate it, I realized, oh, he pulled that out of his backpack and he's been here since this morning.
And they say that I eat bad. Don't eat backpack barbecue. There you go. There's a t-shirt merch right there. Don't eat backpack barbecue. But anyway, yeah. So we got exploding dogs. We got dogs biting people's fingers off and choking on them. We got psychopaths from Russia. We got vegan turkey trying to kill the bishop over there in the corner.
And now the chat's wondering, what are we talking about?
I'm sure. You know what's funny is they're quiet actually. They're not really saying much of anything. Probably because they're staring in confusion at this incoherent mess. But this is honestly kind of what I wanted at the same time. It's like, I don't know, dude. The last few episodes have just been stressful for me. You know what I mean? I just kind of wanted to relax and talk to the folks. And I kind of was expecting more people to be talking back. Like, oh, I know this legend. I know that variation or things like that. But here's the thing. Kind of like the SCPs are made to celebrate creativity and more for entertainment. Some urban legends were too. Some were just silly. Some were pranks. And here's one. I want to say for the record, I never tried this, and I don't recommend trying it because I don't want anyone to get in trouble. But back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when cell phones were becoming a thing, there was an urban legend that circulated, and this was mostly around. Actually, ironically, it was the opposite of a lot of them. It circulated more in the heartland, out in the backwoods and so on. But supposedly, if you... I heard from a friend of a friend that if you dial 999 into your cell phone and call the number, let it ring 3 times, if it does ring at all, let it ring 3 times, and then hang up on it. It'll charge your phone. It's true. I heard it from a friend of a friend. Mm-hmm. There we go. We're getting some reactions of just disgust at you eating vegan turkey and backpack barbecue.
No, the turkey was a real turkey. It was a vegan who gave it to me.
From a vegan. You
Yes.
don't get meat from a vegan.
Well, I didn't know at the time. Now I do.
But anyway, as you can guess, no, this doesn't actually work. Dialing 999 and letting it ring 3 times and then hanging up does not charge your phone. Be damn convenient if that worked, but it doesn't. This urban legend isn't really so much about, a moral or anything like that. It's a silly story, which is equally important in its own right. So you would argue that the vegan turkey was worse than having your fingers annihilated?
Well, the fingers getting annihilated was like a 3-month ordeal, but the turkey was like a day ordeal.
No, that was more than a day.
I was miserable.
You were miserable for several days, and you hated everybody around you.
I did, because I just wanted to lay on the couch and pass out and just listen to you guys have a good time playing D&D, and you're all like, no, just come hang out with us. I'm like, fine. And I just sat there, and I'm just like, this is worse than being puke drunk. This is, horrible.
Sorry.
It was awful.
So my sister is saying that she's never heard of the 999 urban legend, but an earthquake will charge a Nokia phone? Okay, hold on, Tara. Enlighten us about this one. I am not familiar with this. Earthquakes can charge... shaking the phone? What? Tara, you cannot just say that random sentence and then walk away. Talk to us here. What the hell? Do I need to call you?
Earthquakes cause electromagnetic fields. It wouldn't charge a phone. But... so another urban legend that I always heard as a kid about 2007, 2008 was if you take an unpopped kernel of popcorn and you lay about 10 phones next to it, all in a circle, and you call all the phones at the same time, it'll pop the popcorn. That was one I heard. It was one of those warnings about how cell phones
are dangerous and that they radiate your brain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've not heard cooking popcorn, but now I kind of want to try that.
It's one of those things. Everybody tells me this stuff, especially about the Bible. Everybody tells me this stuff about the Bible. It's like, where is it? Oh well, it's in. Where is it? It's in there. Where?
Yeah.
And then they just shut up about it.
Now to be fair, the Bible is a big friggin' thing. Technically, it's not a book; it's a couple dozen. So I mean,
look it up online.
Oh yeah.
But
you know the funny thing is,
I got told that a bunch, like in Scouts, like, well, okay, where's the proof of this? I'm not saying cell phones are not bad for your brain, but where is this coming from? And they're like, oh well, it's online. It's like, well, where? Here's my phone. Would you look it up for me?
I'm tempted to call Tara and ask her about this because again, she just says that, and then this always happens. We'll be talking about something, and then the chat will just be exploding. Everyone will be saying something, and then I'll ask something to the chat, and it's just like everybody's going to the bathroom or something. No one's saying a damn word.
Well, that's that's literally what I was saying. When you actually ask a question, when somebody says something and then you call them out on it or ask a question, they just. But no, okay. In her defense, no. When earthquakes happen, there's like they cause energy and friction. It's kind of like an explosion. However, charging a phone, that would definitely be an urban legend.
Okay, so here we have... My sister is saying that this is really what happened. Her phone was almost dead. She was at a friend's house. They had a little 1.0 earthquake, which, by the way, is very... To be fair, in Southern California, that's damn near a daily occurrence. There's lots of earthquakes. Most of them are so weak they don't even get noticed because we're so damn used to it. That's why I keep joking about it. Where I'm from originally, the ground tries to kill you. Here, where I live now, it's the fucking sky you can't trust.
I've not heard that one, but yeah, again.
She's claiming that there was an earthquake and her phone was fully charged. Well, it was almost dead.
I mean, there are magnetic fields and energy produced by them.
Sean is saying something. In about 5,000, 7,000 years, the magnetism of the Earth will swap polarities because the Earth is silly just like that.
No, that happened in 2010. Or at least they told me it would back in 2008.
That's like the big one in California. Anyone know the that's almost a cryptid, the big one, the supposed like earthquake that's going to happen in California that's like so powerful it's going to literally rip part of the North American continent away from the rest of the land. It's the big one. Supposedly like for 40 fragging years it's been coming.
Remember 2012? Nobody remembers 2012 except the people before 2012, how it was a big deal, and then it shut everybody up when December 21st, 2012 came, and it's like...
Nothing happened.
And everybody's just like...
Suddenly didn't want to talk about it anymore. I personally thought that was hilarious. See, here's the thing. I'm an atheist, so like it doesn't bother me at all. I can say it. Dude, I've survived like 12 apocalypses. Okay, I survived Y2K. I survived 2012. I survived 2016. I survived COVID. You know, I survived Justin Fraggin Bieber. I'm untouchable. Okay, at this rate, I think I've survived more apocalypses than there are in the holy scriptures of every religion ever. I'm like, seriously, I'm going to put that on my freaking credentials.
I think Dragon Ball Z got it right with Goku. You've been blasted. You've been through so much, and the one thing to bring you down was a virus. And it's like the heart virus kills Goku
right.
After like everything Goku went
through. Literally, planet-destroying attacks from alien emperors and shit didn't touch him. High cholesterol. Fraggin' high cholesterol got Goku.
But I mean that's how it is. I
mean, someday Arizona will be oceanfront property. I mean, you keep making a prediction, eventually it's bound to come true, right? I mean, although to be fair, hold on.
someday.
I think at this point we're all hoping that California will just disappear. So I'm willing to acknowledge, I see the value in this prophecy. We all want California to go the hell away.
And sync breaking up, yeah, that would be a tragedy.
They did. Okay, yeah, that's a valid point. Fine, Jesus. I've survived like 12 apocalypses, but Jesus' cooking almost killed me. Which should say a lot about Jesus' cooking. Just saying. I don't know. I'm just a guy with a camera pointed at me. What do I know? But yeah. See, that's another thing is too, people are like, you shouldn't be so rude. You shouldn't mock people. These are things that really scare people.
I don't mock people. It's just when somebody
I
tries
do.
to tell me something is a fact to put me down, especially about the Bible, it's like, where is it? Where is it? Oh, well, it's in, where is it?
Find it. See, me personally, even though I'm an atheist, I actually like the Bible. I like reading the Bible. I like learning stuff. I like learning things. I don't think it's true, but it's still interesting, and it doesn't mean it doesn't have value. Again, it's one of those things. There's an old argument I've heard. Atheists are just Christian who disagree about one thing, or something like that. It's something to that effect. But I love learning stuff. I don't understand why people don't like learning things. I personally think it's pride. People don't like to admit that they were wrong.
Well, yeah.
Like what you were saying about how everyone. 2012 was kind of an urban legend in a way. Actually, now that you kind of brought it up, everybody was worried about it and freaked out about it. The same with Y2K. Remember Y2K?
I do remember Y2K.
I'm asking the chat. I think Sean be too young to remember a Y2K. But remember Y2K? Everyone was terrified of Y2K. The Y2K bug. I remember Raid Bug Spray was even actually doing commercials about how it was the official killer of the Y2K bug.
I didn't need for that slash to be there.
Either way, though. Remember the Y2K bug? And then New Year's 2000 happened, and nothing happened because the Y2K bug was... There was no way it would really happen like that. It's like, that's not how computers work.
And if it was, I mean, I heard companies fix their computers, but that's just get engineers.
Sean was born in 2003, so yeah, he was after the Y2K bug. But here's the thing. I remember this. People were legitimately scared of it. And here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. So real quick, I just want to say this. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to die. It's perfectly understandable that you're scared of something, even if it turns out to be nothing at all. There's no shame in that. You don't need to be defensive about it. I laugh at things like Y2K and even more recently the COVID thing, because people lost their heads. It's okay to get scared. There's no shame in being scared. There is shame in letting that fear control you, even after it's passed. There's no shame in saying that the Y2K bug scared the crap out of you. There's no shame in saying 2012 scared the crap out of you. There's no shame in saying you were afraid of the big one, which I guess technically speaking could still happen. I don't know. But it's like, people really need to honestly get over themselves. These are not things that necessarily need to divide us. It's okay. It's okay if you were scared. I wasn't exactly comfortable or happy over the last few apocalypses.
Yellowstone blowing up.
Yellowstone, yeah, that's another one that's supposedly supposed to happen any day now. Yellowstone's going to erupt and destroy a quarter of the country, or something like that. It's okay. We're human. We make mistakes. We freak the hell out. And that's kind of the beauty of urban legends and myths. We can see these things that scared people. People were afraid for women living by themselves because a burglar could come into their house. I mean, what if she didn't have a Doberman there to bite the guy's hand off or whatever the hell? People are scared of new technology. What if grandma doesn't know the difference between an oven and a microwave and puts Fido inside? These are understandable things. The problem isn't in being scared. The problem isn't in not knowing something. The problem is in refusing to accept it. Chet remembers. Chet knows. He's like, yes, I'm old. Sean wishes he was around in Y2K. It was an interesting time because again, everyone was scared of it, but at the same time, there were some people who were kind of tongue in cheek about it too. I remember Simpsons did a parody about Y2K.
King of the Hill. Where
King of the Hill.
In the supermarket and they come out and the parking lot's empty and fireworks are going off because everybody's celebrating the New Year. It's like,
I remember years later, Family Guy, Late to the Party as Always, did a parody of Y2K.
I never really watched Family Guy much.
Simpsons are better. I want to say, did South Park ever do a parody of Y2K? Were they around then?
Yeah, South Park.
Yeah, South Park was
like
90s.
Since, like 90, 96, 95. South Park's old.
Just like your dad, apparently. Oh, come on, Tara. That's kind of mean. Mom would not put a dog in the microwave. Probably. She couldn't get the microwave to work in the first damn place. No, but seriously, my mother has like the touch of anti-technology. No, you can call her and ask her. She literally made a computer curse at her and kill itself. It produced this weird beep noise that sounded like a sensor, and then it just refused to turn on ever again. Yeah, plus Mom would never do that. She loves her dogs, yeah. We had wonderful dogs. Someday we're going to have a Mythos episode just talking about my dogs. Futurama was pretty cool. I feel like it kind of overstayed its welcome, but...
On Fox, sure, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, the first generation of Futurama, because it's been brought back like 3 or 4 frickin' times now.
No, King of the Hill was Fox.
Yep. King of the Hill, Family Guy, Simpsons, Futurama, they were all originally Fox shows.
King of the Hill is best, I would say.
I like the older Simpsons. I'm gonna be honest with you. Simpsons is kind of one of those things. It really was a product of its time frame, and it just...
It's not in its time frame anymore.
No. And the worst part is now in the past few seasons, they've been trying to be modern, which is not a good idea. Don't do that.
They're not South Park.
Simpsons was originally from '87.
Yeah, Simpsons is the same age as me, not counting the pilot shorts.
Yeah, because originally it was shorts. It was not a series.
Yeah, Matt Groening was in Oregon a lot. He was at Camp Pioneer and scout camps I went to.
Oh, neat. Did you meet him?
Oh, no. He's like 30 years older than me. I'm not that old. No, they just...
Sometimes I feel that old.
Talked about him a lot because he's a famous animator.
Very distinct style, once upon a time. Like, a lot of people try to imitate him. But anyway, where was I? Okay, yeah. We're not done yet. We're not done, actually. I have some more. Even though we are getting close to the 2-hour mark. But a couple more I want to talk about. So, this one is probably the oldest urban legend. Like, this is the urban legend. This is like... Everyone's heard this story. So, I heard from a friend of a friend. There was this couple. They decided to go out, and do what couples do out on lonely roads, out by themselves, when the radio had this emergency broadcast come on about how this guy had escaped from an asylum. And you would know him. He was distinguishable because he had a hook for a hand. Now, this was not a normal hook, because people with hook hands, well, obviously they're dull. They don't have blades. But this lunatic had actually sharpened it, so he was literally armed. Very dangerous. Now, hearing about this, the girl, she wanted to go home. She didn't want to be out in the middle of the road or something, But, of course, her boyfriend's like, no, it's fine. We're way outside in the country. There's nobody who's going to be out here. Least of all, some kind of deranged lunatic with a bladed hook for a hand or something. That's not possible. No way. Well, A little bit later, they hear a thump or a bang outside of the car. So, of course, the girlfriend is scared out of her mind again. And just to make her happy, to show her everything's fine, it was most likely just a raccoon that was curious about the car or something, you know. He gets out of the car to go and take a look. Well, as soon as he does, he gets attacked by somebody in the dark. Boyfriend is able to fend this guy off, get back into the car, and they just drive the hell out of there. Just there, they are gone. They floor it, speeding all the way back into town. And when they get back to their place, they get out of the car and they reveal that hanging from the bumper of the car is a sharpened hook. Now, I'm sure the chat is going to actually come alive here with people saying other versions of it, because this is probably the urban legend. It actually dates back to the 1940s. I'm not joking. This the oldest account of the hook urban legend is specifically, hold on. I wrote it down. I swear I did. I know I wrote this shit down. I swear I did. I know I did because oh, shut up. That's not even the worst. We talked about a dog exploding and you're upset about me saying shit.
My ears.
Oh, go pray. Anyway, yeah, 1947 is the first account of The Hook. Urban legend, 1947. Now, this story has been told a million different ways. In some versions, the boyfriend gets killed. In some versions, the girlfriend gets killed. What's funny is those are later versions. The original 47 version, the boyfriend is attacked. He's not killed. And both of them escape. More modern iterations say other things, you know. But that's the core of it. There's a couple out on the road making out or something. Girlfriend gets scared because there's a broadcast over the radio about a deranged lunatic with a hook for a hand. Boyfriend goes outside to check something. They get the heck out of there, and somewhere on the car is the hook from the killer. Again, it's been told a million different ways, and from what I could tell, this is one of the oldest, maybe the oldest, urban legend. It might be the first thing that was actually discerned as an urban legend. Of course, I'm sure somebody will say, well, actually, no, this story is designated as an urban legend, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. Even if it's not the first urban legend, it easily is the most well-known. It is the most iconic. It's the one that everybody talks about in parodies or, you know, everyone retells. The Hook is, I would actually argue, and this is probably going to be kind of controversial, I would argue that The Hook is to urban legends what Bigfoot is to cryptozoology. This is the story, the legend. You know, everybody knows this story, and everyone's heard 10 different versions. It comes from, again, late 1940s, early 1950s is when it most circulated. And just like with most legends, you can kind of see, you know, what they put as important, you know. And it's funny because it's a story about no premarital sex. This couple were out getting their fooly-cooly on, out on Lover's Lane or out in the woods or something. And so a psycho killer comes out and is going to kill them because they were doing it before they went through with it, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. Again, in the 1940s and the 1950s, this was the most scary thing ever. You have to remember, the 1950s were the rise of censorship. Everything was the devil back in the 1950s, you know. Rock and roll's the devil. Jazz is the devil. You know, it kind of resurfaced in the 70s and 80s with, you know, D&D is the devil, and Monopoly is the devil, and the TV is the devil. Everything's the devil. And yet I kicked his ass and took his title so easily.
And then there's metal.
Metal is the devil. Yeah, everything's the freaking devil. What was that movie? The Adam Sandler movie.
I
The mother. She said everything was...
Waterboy.
Was that Waterboy?
You stay away from
You know what
girls.
that is, right?
Little girls are the devil.
The devil!
Yeah, everything was the devil. I think that was Waterboy, yeah.
I think it was Waterboy, yeah.
Football is the devil!
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he kicks the KKK member in the head or something like that. Was that?
That was one of his teammates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he had trouble kicking the ball. Just imagine it as something you hate.
And it was, yeah, and it turned into a KKK, dude.
Back when Adam Sandler was funny. You know, back before Y2K.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. That movie is like maybe one of 2 Adam Sandler movies I actually like. That and Longest Yard, I think. Yeah,
Longest Yard was good.
That was a Sandler movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was like 2000.
That was more recent. That was also a remake, actually.
That was, yeah. My dad would know about that. That was a Burt Reynolds remake, I believe. Oh gosh, now I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, I think The Longest Yard is the only thing Adam Sandler's done that's been decent since 2000.
Wait, what's going on? I hate tech. Simpsons predicted the Donald Trump administration. Did not watch it. Real quick, because someone brought up, I would argue that Bloody Mary is more of a cryptid or a ghost story. I wouldn't say she's an urban legend, because she's more about like magic and stuff. She's a ghost story. She's different. No, hook hands are not very useful, Sean, actually. In fact, they're kind of a rarity. On top of that, actual medical hooks that they give you if you lose your hand, they're not sharp. So that you don't murder people. Seen that in a movie one time?
Malcolm in the Middle, yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle had the hook character, I remember.
Where it was actually a hook hand for somebody who lost their hand.
Yeah, prosthetic hook hands. You know the funny thing is everyone pictures like the pirate hook, you know?
Yeah,
and that's pretty intimidating. That's pretty gnarly. Have you seen the actual medical hook hands? They're freaky. They're weird looking shit, man. I know what you did last summer. I love that movie. I know a lot of people argue that it was a very forgettable random slasher flick in the late 90s. I argue I Know What You Did Last Summer is actually very good. Not because it's anything unique or special. In fact, for the opposite reason. Because it is the quintessential, exactly by the book blueprint how you do a slasher film. So I would argue that if you want to be involved in the horror genre in general, you should watch I Know What You Did Last Summer, because that movie is an exact roadmap blueprint about how you do a slasher. Is it original or special? No, but that's the thing. The reason it stands out and is so good is because of the fact that it is exactly what it should be. It is refined. Your dad is just going off in the chat. It's like, yeah, that was the water boy you're talking about. And apparently you have an uncle who had a hook hand? Your dad's...
No, my dad would have had an uncle. I didn't, did I?
Oh, he had an uncle. Okay. Yes, had an uncle with one. Okay, I thought he was saying you had an uncle with one. That's yes.
I did not know that, actually.
So you have a great uncle, or had a great uncle with a hook hand, then?
Yes, but no. See, okay, the thing about a hook hand, I know what you did last summer and what everybody thinks.
Well,
you have a meat hook.
That's a meat hook, yeah.
Those are...
very different than a medical hook.
There's almost no use for those unless you're a butcher. Or, fine, you're going to hit somebody with a hook, but then just...
Oh, see, those things could kill you. Those things are designed to go through bone and meat and stuff. That getting into your skull or yeah, I guess it could... It wouldn't cut your throat, it would rip. Because hooks aren't actually bladed, they're tipped, they're pointed. So what you do is you get the hook in and you pull through.
And I guess the pirate thing, if you're a captain, you don't need your hands to be a captain, so you want to look intimidating.
Yeah. And to be fair, again, if it is actually sharp, you could hurt somebody. It could hurt. It could. That's the thing. No, hooks are not bladed. They are specifically a stabbing implement. You stab something with a hook. I wouldn't volunteer to get stabbed with a hook hand. I'm going to listen to the captain. I like that.
A hay hook. What's a hay hook?
A hay hook.
Oh, really? He had a hay hook for a hand?
He had a hook like that? See, that looks kind of gnarly.
That's a hay baling hook.
Yeah.
But then again, like pretty much all my
Probably very similar to a butcher's hook, though.
Yeah, my family's pretty much always been farmers up until me and my brother.
Yeah. Wow, Sean actually agrees with me. He likes my opinion of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Well, wonders never cease. Those things do look like they could hurt.
See, there's also a thing called a hay knife, which you don't find anymore.
That's like a sickle kind of, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like you hold it with two hands and.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like a sickle.
A sickle saw thing, yeah.
My mom, you had hay hooks?
They would be a pretty common thing for anybody on a farm, I would think.
Yeah.
Well, anybody on a farm who deals with hay or horses.
Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, that's the hook. Probably one of the most legendary urban legends of all. Now, there's one more I want to talk about because we actually are. It's getting pretty close to 2 hours, so there's one more I want to talk about. Because here's the thing. This one's actually, joking aside, this one's actually really sad. Because it started as an urban legend. And then someone actually made it real. So most urban legends are based off some kind of truth. Something that actually happened. At some point or there's some grain of truth. This following story is the opposite. It was a legend, and then somebody did it. And this is another one that some of the older people probably will recognize. I guarantee Sean once again is going to be like, what? But anyone ever remember the legend of AIDS Mary? Or AIDS Harry? Again, this is something from like the 70s and 60s. This is way before. It was most common in the 80s, but for a very unpleasant reason. So, people are still talking to goddamn hooks.
Oh yeah, FFA, yeah.
I remember, yep, I was in the FFA briefly.
Baling hay for the animals and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, though. Oh, good night, Dakota. Yeah, this is how you know we're going late. Dakota's leaving. But anyway, so AIDS Mary is a very creepy urban legend. In the late 70s, early 80s, there were stories of, you know, a guy at the bar sees a pretty girl, they kind of flirt with each other, and then she suggests that they go and they get a room, you know. They go back to his place or get a hotel and stuff like that. And then they do what people do when they meet up at a bar and then go to a hotel room, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. Only for him to wake up the next morning, find that she's gone, and when he goes into the bathroom of the hotel room, sprawled on the mirror is written the message, "Welcome to the wonderful world of AIDS." Now, this story, again, it's almost always a woman who's seducing a man. You very rarely see the other version, which is sometimes referred to as the AIDS Harry. Or, AIDS Harry is a man named Mary is a woman's name. There's also the story of a deranged man who has AIDS, and so he, pricks himself with a needle. And then he walks around in crowded area, and he stabs people with the needle when they aren't paying attention to spread the infection. Now, these stories come from the, again, 70s and 80s, mostly the 80s to be fair, which is the height of everyone being afraid of AIDS. Because to be fair, we didn't really know what they were, there was nothing you could do to treat it, and a very common misconception, AIDS don't actually kill you. AIDS destroy your immune system to where anything else can kill you. So it's actually pretty horrible. A lot of people refer to AIDS as the death sentence. Of course, in our modern times, we have ways to counteract AIDS and treat, well, I guess not a cure, but there are things you can do about it nowadays. Unfortunately, they didn't have that in the 80s, and, well, there's an old expression, we don't understand it, therefore we fear it. People didn't really understand it, understand where it came from. There were a lot of misconceptions and misinformation about it. And yeah, it scared people. So they told stories about these people who were spiteful and angry that they had AIDS, so they tried to spread the virus. Now, it should be pointed out, of course, no, nothing like this actually happened until it did. In 1994, I believe it was, a woman, I wrote it down, I swear I did this time. Oh, excuse me, 1998 in Lewisburg, Tennessee, Pamela Weiser was arrested under accusations of sexual assault. A man claimed that she sexually assaulted him, and so she was arrested. And then, here's the thing that's funny. That was it. That was the charge. He accused her of sexually assaulting her. Or, he accused her of sexually assaulting him. And the police went to talk to her about it. And then she went and pulled a John Wayne Gacy. Rather than just shut the hell up, you know, she bragged that she had sexually assaulted or seduced over 50 other men. And she was positive for AIDS. She was intentionally trying to spread it. What's funny is that in 1994, in Tennessee, it was made it was discerned as attempted murder to knowingly have sex with someone if you have AIDS. They explained this to her, and she then changed her story that she was exaggerating. She probably only slept with about 20 men after she found out she had AIDS. She was arrested, and she had to face trial. Because again, in Tennessee, in that time frame, knowingly spreading or exposing people to the HIV virus, yeah, that's attempted murder. And it's funny because again, when they first arrested her, she was so full of herself, supposedly, so arrogant about it, that she did that. And then they told her, that's a crime. It's a big crime. That's attempted murder. Suddenly, are we good? We're not losing the sound or anything?
No, we're good. We just dropped some frames.
Odd. Anyway, though, yeah, she totally Gacy'd it. she wasn't in that much trouble, and then she just opened her mouth. And so they actually had to go and find these people, and yeah, she had knowingly spread the virus. And she was given 26 years in prison. There were some people who wanted her to actually be given the death penalty. Again, and I'm not going to get into the politicals of that. I'm just stating what actually happened. As she told the story, her cheating ex-boyfriend gave the virus to her. And which, by the way, is another series of arguments. She claims she got it from her ex-boyfriend, and then she pled basically that she went insane. The horror of realizing she had this deadly disease drove her mad, and then What do you do when you're insane? You spread a terrible virus for which there is no cure. Makes total sense, right? Yeah, she's totally not trying to avoid the electric chair. Um, there are some ghost stories that claim that her ex-boyfriend actually came out as like, I'm clean, I don't have it. And he actually accused her of being an adulterer who got it fooling around. But supposedly, yeah, she literally got the idea from the wonderful world of AIDS urban legend. So she actually made it real. She's still alive, by the way. From everything I checked, she's still alive and still serving out her sentence. She'll be, her sentence will be served, I want to say, in like 2 or 3 years, actually. In 2025. But no, which is impressive, honestly. But no, this was an urban legend that was completely fictional, completely made up to sensationalize and scare people over the AIDS pandemic, and that gave her the idea to do it. And for the record, they actually believed her plea of criminally insane. She was deemed criminally insane. I'm personally surprised they didn't just give her life. I mean, especially if they actually believed her when she said that she went insane temporarily and then just spread the disease to 20 men. I'm sorry, I personally don't buy it. That's just my personal opinion. Because if she was really only temporarily insane, why was she bragging about doing it to so many more people? You know what I mean? Conveniently, she regained her sanity when they told her that that was attempted murder. Funny how that works, right? But yeah, no, the wonderful world of AIDS urban legend is there's no way we can be humorous about this. This is a very sad one. And it's even worse because somebody actually used it to hurt a lot of people. A lot of people who did nothing wrong. I'm sorry, I don't care what your opinions of bar or hookup culture is, but no. Having a one-night stand does not mean you deserve a virus like that. But yeah, that's the power of urban legends. They are a part of culture, they are a part of history, and they have power. Whether it's, cautionary warnings about don't put your dog in the microwave, or a sincere... Would you count Weiser as a serial killer? I don't know if she would count. Kind of?
How many people died from it?
I don't know how many died. I just know that she knowingly spread it to 22 men. There were confirmed 22 men who got the virus from her.
Out of 50, that's...
Well, she claimed
almost
50.
1/3. That sounds about right, I guess.
Yeah, kind of serial killer-esh.
Well, I mean, if most of them died, then yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was attempted. It was an attempt. Like, there's no other reason to spread the virus. Like, I'm sorry, you're trying. It's one of those things. If you point a gun at somebody and you pull the trigger, whether the bullet hits them or not, you are trying to kill them. So I don't know. I guess she kind of would fit into the same group with like Gacy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like him, she was an idiot who couldn't keep her mouth shut. She almost got away with it. All she had to do was just, okay, she was charged once with sexual assault. That's it. That's all that they were talking about with her. She's the one who opened her big fat mouth. She almost got away with it, which is kind of scary to think about, really.
I'd rather die from the chair than whatever happens to me with the virus.
Well,
it's pretty horrible because it destroys your immune system.
Yeah, it destroys your immune system, and like anything can kill you at that point. It's like what is it in StarCraft? The plague, Plague-U?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Defilers do it. Yeah, the plague.
Yeah, it doesn't actually do damage to what it hits. It like lowers their stats to where they basically have 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, no, personally, I personally argue she's in that same category. It was attempted, but the fact of the matter is she still sowed destruction, death, and fear in a community. She's up there with Gacy and the Ripper and so on. And again, personally, I don't buy the whole temporary insanity thing. I think she was just a horrible person. But yeah, that's the weird part, is that the wonderful world of AIDS urban legend predates her. She, again, claimed that's where she got the idea. So a lot of people are like, well, where does the legend actually come from? We don't know. We do know that in the late 70s and early 80s, people were scared of AIDS. Understandably so, by the way. Understandably. Is someone saying something?
Your sister said Typhoid Mary. There was like Vietnam stuff, World War II stuff.
Typhoid Mary. I have a funny story about typhoid, actually. I know, that sounds weird. But hold on.
I mean, I'm taking a guess here, shot in the dark, but I would imagine back during the bubonic plague, there was probably similar, like,
Stories
stay away
of people.
from that person.
Yeah.
They got the plague.
Plague spreaders, yeah.
And I have no...
I don't know. But no, real quick, so my funny typhoid story. I used to play quite adamantly a game called Magic the Gathering. And I'm not going to get into the details of how you play it, but long story short, there's a creature you can control in that game called a typhoid rat. I knew of the creature before of the disease. I actually thought the word typhoid referred to like where the rat was from. Like then in the Magic the Gathering setting, there's some place called Typhoid or something. And I actually really liked this card. I used that creature in a lot of decks that I used to play. And eventually I got curious, like, where is Typhoid in the Magic universe? And I looked it up and I actually saw what Typhoid is. And I'm literally in the card shop looking at my phone. Oh God. Oh no, that's not okay. Everyone is like, what's wrong? It's like, I found out what typhoid means. And everybody was like, yeah, it's pretty horrible, huh? And yeah, no, I admit Typhoid Rats is probably one of my favorite cards in Magic just because of that funny story. I love Typhoid Rats. To answer your question, Mr. Bishop, that's attempted murder in Tennessee. It's attempted murder to spread the virus willingly. Yeah, there's other stories about how like a guy gets, hits on a girl, they go back to a hotel or something, he wakes up missing a kidney, things like that. But yeah, I wanted to end on AIDS Mary. Yeah, life imitating art. The kidney thing is real. I'm going to look her up now. Typhoid Mary. I have to check that out. Oh, good night, Dad. He had to go to bed. It is getting pretty late, though. But yeah. And the reason I wanted to talk about that one last is because, like I said, a lot of people, they downplay the power that stories can have. And it's like, no. Legends and myths, they have power. People put stock into them. And all it takes is the one bad person, one dangerous individual to get that one idea from a legend, and it creates a nightmare. I mean, and we can have fun with them, sure, but it's one of those things like, even if society has grown past urban legends and we're into other kinds of mythologies like the SCP and creepypasta, even though it doesn't deserve it, these old stories still have power and they should be respected and they should be remembered. But yeah, that was Urban Legends. Wow, doggy, it is much later than I even realized.
Still not our longest show.
Not our longest show. This is probably our longest with just me by myself, though. Every show we were really long was on the couch with other people. Probably our most disjointed too. We kept getting so sidetracked. But yeah, that was Urban Legends. What should we talk about next week, Kat? What do you guys think? What would you like to talk about next week? Go to hell. What do you guys think in the chat, though? What would you like to hear about next week? Is anyone still up, or did everybody go to bed? I'm kind of surprised Sean hasn't chimed in when I mentioned Magic the Gathering.
Throw out some ideas.
Well, see, I remember a couple weeks ago someone was saying you should do more about ghosts, more ghost stories. Which I guess we could do more ghost stories. No, we're not doing creepypasta. My heart can't take it. Egyptian mythology?
Yes.
I like Egyptian mythology.
Kobold was saying like European or Japanese mythology.
Yeah, he was mentioning like the Celts and stuff.
Creepypasta.
You know what we haven't done? But we did the other half. We did vampires. No. We did vampires. What about werewolves?
Werewolves?
What do you guys think? How about werewolves next week? Again, it's funny, most of our people who watch the show are like our parents, and they were like really old, so like most of them are asleep, going to bed by now. So, but no, yeah, you know what? No, let's do werewolves next week.
Where are the werewolves?
Yeah, no, we talked about vampires, and everyone says that like werewolves are the.
Better than vampires.
Art Bell would open the phones to calls. You know, maybe we could. You know what? Honestly, that'd be kind of interesting. Like, yeah, no, call up, talk to me. Werewolves. Yeah, no, let's do that next week when we return out here to my undisclosed desert with my dear, sweet, dead dogs. And okay, this is creepy.
What?
Joopy. Joopy. Where'd the damn... Oh, God! Ah! See, look at that. Gluttony jumped to protect me from the ravenous goat sucker, mother... Son of a... Oh. Stay there, you little bastard. Anyway. I am Kristoff N. still the Prince of Darkness. This has been From One Side to the Other. Next week, we're going to talk about werewolves. But in the meantime, boys and girls, children of all ages, I hope you enjoyed the show. And as always, keep checking the shadows.